Problem: I'm not sure what's most important to focus on when reselling online. Solution: in this video, I will explain what's paramount to reselling online and how to use this skill to be successful. Damien here with Resolutions, a channel dedicated to giving you real solutions without having you sit through long videos filled with nonsense. Let's get to it. What does it take to be successful as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a leader, as a salesperson, as a reseller? According to experts online, it could be a number of things: vision, leadership, energy, communication, focus, etc. Although these skills or attributes are definitely a plus, there is one thing above all that makes them work. One skill that keeps them working, and one skill that is a must to have to be successful. What is that one skill? I'll tell you. Consistency. As famous entrepreneur Jim Rohn once said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. If you really take a minute to think about that, the reality of how true that statement is will quickly sink in. As it pertains to reselling, consistency can only be achieved after you identify and systemize a set of simple behaviors that works in your business. Let me offer an overview of what my daily systematic approach to reselling looks like. Ship, list, source, repeat. In that order, always, no matter what. Sure, I miss a day here and there and because of family, friends, or other issues that come up, but 99% of the time, that's what it is. I ship first because a customer gave me their money and I owe them the product as per our deal. They pay me for an item and I ship that item. I list second because you can't sell what you don't offer. I make a daily goal and I stick to it. I don't have a maximum, but I have a minimum. I then source to keep the cycle going and keep me in stock, whether it be sourcing online through retail arbitrage, contacting my distributors in Mexico for wholesale replenishment, estate sales, garage sales, or simply driving over to the thrift. I must replenish what I have sold. If I don't, I can only expect to make less money than before. I know this may sound like a no-brainer to most people, but it's really not. I have met plenty of resellers that have no clue what they are doing for the day. They just gamble about like bunnies. It's definitely not a good way to run a business. So how do you build consistency? As stated before, you must identify what works for you and systemize it. Let's use my example again, but allow me to break it down further. Let's start with the shipping process. In order for this to happen easily and to help you stay consistent, you must have a dedicated shipping station, an inventory system to quickly locate your product, and a ready to ship time frame for each product sold. In this case, I'm not going to show you a store that just sells clothing because that is way easier to manage. Instead, I'm going to use my eBay Everything store as an example because a large part of you watching probably have one. In stores like these, the shipping times will always vary because not all products are uniform, but I do have a general scale. From picking to packing to ready to ship, it can take me anywhere from 1 to 8 minutes to complete the task. I have to say that there are some oddballs that can take longer, but they are rare because I have a set of rules that don't allow me to purchase them unless certain money-making criteria is met. I mean, come on, would you pass up an item worth $500 or more in profit just because it broke the rules set by you? No, you take in an instant. Now that you have identified your entire process, work it the same way every day or consistently, looking for small ways to improve and cutting down on time. Yes, it's as simple as ice. Well, not that ice. By ice, I mean I-S-E. Identify, systemize, and execute. Let's move on to the process that is dreaded by most and always causes the lazy folk to quit. Listing. This is what I hear all the time. Reselling is fun. I get to drive around to stores, I get to see all this cool product, and I get to shop till I drop. Until it comes down to putting in the work. Then most people quickly realize that it's not all rainbows and unicorns. It's actual work. Boring, mundane work. I'll tell you what though, if you like to eat, pay your bills on time, and do fun things, this is what you must embrace, and with a smile on your face. There are only 3 things that must happen. You must prep and photograph your product, list it on your platform of choice, and you must place it in your inventory system to quickly be retrieved at a later date. That's the whole process. Don't overcomplicate. In my world, it takes me anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes for each product, including prep time, with some exceptions. It can take me anywhere from 1 to 4 minutes to list it on a platform like eBay, depending on research and some outlying factors. And it takes me 30 seconds to locate my product in inventory. Unless I said fuck it that day and didn't locate the product properly, then it's time for the Easter egg hunt, which sucks. You can ask my assistant about that. She hates it. I know there are other channels you will watch that shit, like if it takes you more than 90 seconds for the entire process, you shouldn't sell that item. But what they failed to mention is that not all of us are excited by or want to sell just clothing. Personally, I do sell some, but I find it so fucking boring that it only makes up a very small percentage of my sales. I like to be happy and excited about what I do, and clothing is definitely not for me. Now that you've identified your listing process, work it the same way every day or consistently, looking for small ways to improve and cutting down on time. Yes, it's as simple as ice. Well, I don't mean that ice. I mean ISE. Identify, systemize, and execute. The final process in building consistency in your reselling business is definitely the most fun. Sourcing. Who doesn't like to spend money, right? This process may seem like something you can do just willy-nilly, like I've seen most people do, but in fact it's not. It must be intentional, focused, and consistent. You must know where to go, when to go, and what to look for. Let's take a look at these set of rules that I have set for my business and you can adopt for yours if they work for you. You must have a timeline. How much time will you commit to this task? When will you begin? Depending on what time you start, how will that affect your processes? What time do you have to wake up to ship and list and finish everything else? Next, you must have direction. For example, if you have to physically visit 5 stores, your GPS should reflect that. The most logical route should be laid out the night before, taking into consideration distance, hours of operation, and potential products. Another example of how to have direction would be for online or phone sourcing for those of you that don't like to drive. If online, what websites are you going to visit? Are they auctions? When do they start? Are you using arbitrage software to assist you in finding products? If it's by phone, who's in your Rolodex? For you youngsters, this is an old school way of having a contacts list. It's not digital at all. It was on actual paper. What time zone are these contacts in? Are you cultivating a relationship or asking for product already? Next, you must have a budget. How much cash flow do you have available? Are you using business credit? What expenditures are coming up? For example, if you have $5K available in cash, but you know you have to pay off your business loan of $2K in 1 week, then you have $3K available, unless your new product can move before payment is due. You gotta think about all those things. Finally, you must have an idea of what products you want. Yes, you can always just mosey on down to the local thrift to see what you will find, but you should have some set of rules at the very least. What categories are you interested in? What is the max dimension of the products you want? What's the max price you're willing to pay? For example, if it's clothing, what's max for a tee? What about a button-down shirt? If it's electronics, what's the max for a Blu-ray disc, for a DVD, for a VCR, and so on? Damn it, I know that was a lot of info, but you have to ask all these questions all the time until it becomes second nature and it organically turns into a system that works for you. Not me, for you. Now that you've identified your sourcing process, work it the same way every day or consistently, looking for small ways to improve and cutting down on time. Yes, it's as simple as ice. Well, of course, again, not that ice, but ice, I mean ISE. Identify, systemize, and execute. Speaking from experience, consistency is the main contributing factor that got me to be a 6-figure seller. In retrospect, when I was making hundreds a month instead of thousands, it was because I had no plan, no systems in place, and no vision. If you're going through this now, let me assure you that everyone, and I mean absolutely everyone, goes through the same thing, even those people that make millions of dollars. Because how can you possibly know what works unless you try different things? Once you identify what works for you, then you do that with consistency and see what results you get. I guarantee you that you're gonna get great results. If you like this type of content and found it useful, inspirational, or at the very least entertaining, let me know in the comments below and I'll make some more. And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content that will hopefully help you get to your next level. Now get to it and have the best day. And cheers. This is whiskey from here. And I want to make an announcement. For those of you that subscribe to the channel, I want to thank you for being very patient. I haven't uploaded a video in about 30 days because my goal has been to watch as many channels as I can, watch as many videos as I can, and what I have found is that our niche has become stagnant and fucking boring, to say the least. Some of my videos included. And I wanted to bring something new to the table. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the next video. You guys are going to hopefully find it at the very least entertaining. The content is always going to be good because there's a ton of great content out there. But sometimes it's difficult to watch it because it's fucking boring. So I want to take at least that small part out and include something more fun so that we can all enjoy it and not just be forced to watch it. So thanks again for subscribing, and we'll be in touch with the next video. It's going to be fun.